Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Unfiltered Podcast. It's very unfiltered today, as you can tell by me like fully lounging. In case you're watching,
if you can't tell, if you're listening, she's lounging.
I'm lounging,
legs up on the table.
Yeah,
I'm gonna join you.
Yeah, it's really comfortable actually. Maddie doesn't have any shoes or socks on, and so she like put her foot
It's hot here, okay?
Yeah, it's been really warm. Hot.
Couldn't cover my feet.
It's been warm.
Summer is on its way here, guys.
According to the 13 seasons of London, we're in fourth summer.
Oh,
fourth summer.
We just sorry. Summer's
almost over.
I'm sorry. I meant we just left fourth winter. It was the pollinating and then fourth winter, and now we go into first summer.
Oh, makes sense.
To be honest, I feel like this year's been a little bit different. Like, I feel like we've really had a spring here in London.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
There was like weeks on end.
Yeah,
like,
you remember when I was away? That was spring here.
Yeah. When I was going to Arizona.
Jesus.
I feel like
her voice is cracking.
Like raining and pouring and being so miserable.
Yeah, you remember the episode we filmed in the cabin?
The
remember?
January Sucks
when I
podcast?
said,
yeah.
Because it was so rainy and cold.
Exactly.
And dark.
And then the second she left, it was like beautiful.
Literally.
Like sunshine, lollipops.
I don't know why London hates me. I just am here to love it.
Hate you.
I'm here to love you, London. And what do you do? Hate me.
Yeah, but that being said,
where are you looking?
I don't know.
She's looking out the window.
Outside.
London.
If I want to speak to Kaleo, I speak here. But London's over there.
Got it.
But yeah, I feel like we have had some really good weather. But anyway, that's not what we're talking
so
about.
So British when we talk about the weather.
Yeah, start it right.
Yeah. But this episode is going to be a bit more chill, I think. Hopefully.
I mean, I hope so.
We're chilling for sure.
Yeah.
But we're just going to kind of do a life update, how the girls are doing, how we're breathing, living, surviving, thriving. 13, 30, what is it? 30, flirty, and thriving.
Yeah.
30, flirty, and thriving. You're the only one that's not flirty and thriving because you're not 30.
Well, who says I'm 30s? Not flirty and thriving? No, but we wanted to kind of like do a catch up because it's been a minute since we've had an episode.
Yeah, we've been away.
For sure, they haven't seen us for like a month.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's been
a month. Yeah.
So
it's been a month.
We've also not been together since before that because, as we mentioned, we pre-record some podcasts.
We do.
So it's actually been a long time since we filmed with Julie.
Yeah.
Before Christmas. Yeah. We're missing Floppy. She's taken a little season off from the on-camera podcasting. Yeah. She's always behind the scenes. Yeah. But
so it's been a while since
it has such a long time
recorded.
Yeah.
So not only has it been a while for you, but it's also been a while for us.
Yeah.
So kind of checking in.
And it's been a month.
And it's been a month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, how you guys are doing? What's going on in your life? Like, what's the day-to-day looking like? Funny stories. I feel like I have a lot because I literally today got back from a week-long outreach.
Yeah.
In Bournemouth, but I can chat about that later. But it was really fun. But all I'm saying is that I have funny stories.
Oh.
Maybe you should start.
Yeah, go off.
Oh, okay. Well, this last week I was on outreach in Bournemouth.
For a week-long outreach, Bournemouth.
Apparently, I've never been on live television.
Where's Bournemouth?
Before.
But apparently.
But yes, we took the leadership school and our two little DTS studiantes, except I guess what are they? Trainees, sorry. Trainees.
Well done.
Thank you.
Sorry, not YWAM England, but England in general.
Yes, because we...
Anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Just the wording, so you have to be careful. But anyway, so we took them to Bournemouth. And
to Bournemouth? For how long?
Bournemouth for 1 week. Can you believe it? But to be honest, it was it was a really great time. I had a really good time. You can tell because I got a little bit sunburned. But
just looking alive.
Yeah, honestly. I feel like it did really bring me like a breath of fresh air. I feel like outreach kind of does that though.
Outreach
it really does
that.
It really every time before I go, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be like we're gonna be in the trenches, and then I get there and I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
Of course, there's like difficult times in it, but like to be honest, it was really good.
Yeah.
It's like such a refreshing time. I feel like if anything, the transition back is sometimes harder.
Yeah,
than
that's true.
like actually being on outreach. But anyway, we were there and we were helping with the church, St. Andrew's, because that's actually the church that we go to.
Shout out to St. Andrews.
A huge shout out to them, because we go there every year for Summer of Missions, and we pack like 70 people in their church and host a whole camp and things. But
this year it's going to be 8 years.
8 years, which is
Jeez.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But honestly, they've been so great at hosting us. And especially this week, I got to know like the vicar and his wife like a lot better. And they're such great people.
They
honestly,
really are.
They're so amazing. So shout out to Tom and Katie.
We love you, Tom
We
and
love
Katie.
you.
We really love you guys, and their little girls are also adorable. You know when like a kid likes you and it feels like you've made it in
you're
life?
on top of the world.
Like,
yeah,
that's how I felt this week. I think that's also why I'm on such a high, because I finally like, you know, also how sometimes you meet kids and they're like really shy at first, and then you like bring it out of them eventually, and then they're your best friend. That's what happened this week for me, guys.
I feel like accomplished.
I feel so accomplished.
You know what's crazy though, to make you feel even more accomplished? When you see them again for summer missions, their reaction to you will be way more up here than to any of us who they've made a relationship with before. Because yours is the most recent. So they're gonna be like, Abby!
I don't know though, because they're quite shy. I think like they might like take a moment to warm up. Because
this one though isn't bad. Jessie,
she's also a bit shy, to be honest. We'll see, because this will be in a couple months. But anyway, long story short, we were there, and it was a really good time. I had like a really good time getting to know them a bit better, and honestly, just kind of being with a family. Like I don't know, like a young family. It was really fun to like hang out, like because we were staying in their house, which is also like incredible that they just opened their doors to us and had like 5 girls sleeping in their beds and like eating their food and being loud.
Where were the boys staying?
Just to specify, they weren't sleeping in their beds, like they were sharing the beds that they have to her. Do you know? I
don't think anyone was.
I know, but just nowadays you just have to clarify.
we were like staying in their house, long story short. And the guys were staying in the youth room in the church.
Nice, cool.
But now has a connection with the upper room,
which now is connected to the upper room, which is really cool for us.
Why didn't you take a video?
But it's honestly, it's really weird. It feels like you're going through a portal, because I'm also, as we know, directionally challenged. And so it just doesn't make sense in my mind, the fact that those 2 rooms connect.
For context,
for us makes a lot of sense, but for anyone listening who's never been, is like really random.
They were 2 different rooms that you had to cross the whole church and go all the way around, to go all up the stairs to go to that one room, and then come all the way around to go up the other stairs and go to the other room. Now they are connected.
Hence portal.
Hence portal. Exactly.
Anyways, so that's kind of been my week.
Wow.
I feel like that was...
what was a funny story? You said you had a funny story.
Oh, the girls are hilarious. Like, everything, like, Jessie and Sophia, like, they just say the funniest things. Like, at one point, we were playing with Jessie. She's 5, and she's, like, just so funny. And we were, like, tickling her and poking her, and then... she was like, stop, you're making me desperate for the toilet.
Oh.
It was so cute. And then she like slid down the slide and ran away, being like, the toilet. Or we were like also like tickling, like playing with her and whatever, and she was like, I guess it's just gonna be one of those days.
She's like
so casually, she's like an 80-year-old woman. So cute. But yeah, they were just tons of fun, and it was really nice to hang out with them. Like I feel like it really, I don't know, brought some freshness to me,
for sure,
which is nice. Change of scenery, and also Bournemouth is gorgeous by the beach, so can't complain.
It is so
a good time.
Nice.
I don't know what you guys been up to, especially this last week. I haven't seen you. I literally haven't caught up with you guys since I got back. So,
Julie.
Well, I'm an auntie.
Way!
I know.
Gone first.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It was more fun. I'm an auntie, which is so cute. I've been literally waiting to be an aunt as soon as I found out my sisters were engaged. So I feel like I've
It's been your birthday wish for many years.
It's been my birthday wish for a while. Yeah.
So she keeps making it her birthday wish, and I'm like, can you just let them like enjoy just being a couple? Well, she's like, I want nieces and nephews.
And I finally got a nephew, little Arthur. So cute. The first boy in the family as well, which is really cute. My whole family is just like really over the moon. You know, it's just such a huge change. You know, and but like it was so cute when he was born. We were at the hospital with my mum and my dad, and we saw a picture, the first picture of him. Alive or like outside the belly, and I was like to my mum, like, he's got a face. He has a face, you know, because up until this point, you know he's there, but like actually seeing his face, you're just like, that's crazy, you know. Sure. And so now everything is literally crazy. Like, I'm so baby obsessed. Like, you look at my phone and it's just like picture after picture after picture. Like, he does anything, he breathes, I take a picture. Literally. He wears a different item of clothing, I take a picture. He's outside, take a picture. Like, everything is just like, so he's an obsession for sure. But like, and we were talking, I can't remember who I was talking to, but like, it's so crazy how like baby obsessed we are, and then they grow up and you're just like, you don't take as many pictures, or you're not that obsessed. You know, my cousin, for example, I've got some younger cousins, and so like with two of my cousins, I've held them since they were babies and stuff, and like when they were babies, I'd always take pictures of them and me with them, but like now I look at them and I'm like, hi, but I don't take pictures with them, you know. So it's crazy to think about that, but at the same time, like, I just want to savor every moment, and also savor every moment with the rest of my family members as well, because it's all just, it's the first, you know. So like everybody's, my parents are grandparents, which is a huge thing as well, like even in our dynamic as well. So yeah, it's just really beautiful. So really proud for my sister and my brother-in-law. So yeah, that's been great. Aside from that, I also came back from Argentina.
You did?
It's been 2 months though. 2?
You came back like in the beginning of March.
Yeah.
About 2 months.
About 2 months. Wow. Which feels like a lot longer, because so much has happened.
Like a lot longer ago that you came back. That's crazy.
Yeah, honestly, came back. So I was away for 2 months, which was a long time.
Very long time.
Very long time.
Honestly,
going back to the January podcast.
The January sucks.
Literally.
It was a really long time, but kind of like what you said, like outreach, like you always like dread it on your way there. I mean, sometimes you have this like high hopes, especially when you're in DTS, you know, you're just like, woo, because it's like you're living your best life. But when you're on the other side, you have a lot more mixed feelings, you know, like
and you're also planning a lot, like, you're behind the scenes a lot more,
you have more responsibility, and like, so that you definitely see a lot more of the like, it's gonna be fun, but
where are we going and what are we doing and how can I help them, and like, you know,
and
like a lot on your
and
mind.
You look at the group and you look at the context and you're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna die. You know? So definitely like the anticipation beforehand was a lot more. But while being there, it was such an amazing time, so wonderful. For people who don't know, although I feel like that this point is so obvious, I'm Argentine originally. I know, it's crazy.
Mind blown.
I know, but it had been 7 years since the last time I went to Argentina, which is a really long time. Wow. I know. So it was really
right.
Yeah,
2018.
that was the last time when you came. Yeah, that was the last year that I went. We went in March. We went with Maddie.
Almost the same amount of time that I've been here.
Yeah. So it's crazy.
That's wild.
And so much happened during that time, you know, like also like with my family back home, I've got new nieces and nephews, you know, new family members that are gone, you know, like so many different things. So it was a whirlwind of emotions and so much, but it was also my first time going on my own. To my homeland. Also my first time going with a team, like to serve, so not just for like the purposes of seeing family and friends, but also to go and do missions, which was really beautiful. At the same time, it was my first time in the summertime since we moved. What would that emoji be? Like the emoji with the tongue out and anyways, that was the face I just did. In case you're just listening. So yeah, the heat definitely took me aback for most of the time. But it was really great also to be able to experience that as well. Also had my birthday in Argentina, so like it was like yeah, it was like a lot of firsts and a lot of like so all in all, like it was just a really, really precious time. I still haven't really fully processed it. So much has happened. Also, like being gone for 2 months when like that wasn't the sole purpose of like what I was doing. Like I also only found out that I was going like literally mid-December, so there wasn't a lot of like planning beforehand either. But going away for 2 months while you have a lot of responsibilities, you know, like and things and stuff, like it just, you come back and it's not like you can just like process in many ways. So I still haven't fully processed. Like we also jumped into a lot of things, and like I said at the beginning, it's been a month and there's been a lot of things like kind of going up and down, and also my nephew arriving and all these different things. So God's definitely been really, really good. But like, I think like even now talking about Argentina, I'm like, wow, I really need to process that. But it was a really, really good time. So I'm so thankful to God for having given me that little gift of that time, because it was, I feel like I indulged. I feel like I could have definitely like taken more of it and like really savored it. But I feel like that's with anything. You always look back and you're like, oh, dang it, I should have done that. But what I did do, and the people I saw, people I met, even the time that I shared, it was just so precious and so beautiful. So it was a great time. So
Wow.
New Mads?
Well, not as exciting. Not an
Sorry, no birthday, no Argentina, no child.
Well, last time we were here, like officially, we were in the January Sucks episode.
Yeah.
So since then, I think life has looked up a little bit. I went to Albania for a little bit with Abby.
We did.
We went to Albania. Yeah.
That also feels like forever ago.
We dove in the sea at 7:00 in the morning.
Yes.
That was nice. And then Abby got sick.
Which Maddie loves to bring up about this story. Yeah, I got really sick.
No, but Abby and I went to like a conference in Albania with YWAM, which was I think really fun, really like inspiring to be there. Yeah. Got to stay in like a 5-star hotel.
When was that?
February.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was like 5 days.
Just to say, because last time we talked was the January Sucks episode, and like life did get better after that. I think we left like the next week actually. Like life is horrible. But, you know, we're gonna go to Albania. But also like we came back from Albania. I worked in Kaleo, and then the next day I went to Amsterdam for a solo trip, which was really nice. It was freezing there and it rained the whole time, but God spoke to me so much. Actually, it was like such a special time. I had a little hotel by myself. I could like go and eat dinner by myself. I don't know, I don't really like to be by myself, but it was actually really special with God. And I remember one thing he spoke to me like so clearly was just how he delights in me. And I just was like, wow, you brought me all the way to Amsterdam just to tell me that, you know? And there's a lot of context that I could share, but for the sake of this podcast, I won't. But it's just really special. Then you guys came back, I think, after that. The team came back. And then the last month, I've basically been away. I was gone in the States for 2.5 weeks visiting my family. And then I came back. And then a week later, I was in Marseille teaching in a YWAM base there. And then I came back and here we are.
Fear of the Lord.
Fear of the Lord. Yeah, it was really nice to be there. I've never been to Marseille. I've only been to Paris and I hated it. Sorry. Don't like Paris. Not a fan. But Marseille.
I like Paris. I always hear this, but I don't actually know why.
I went twice to Paris. 3 times to Paris. The first time. Yeah. Oh. The first time I went with my friend that lives here, and it was a nice time. It was great. I think, it was nice. It was during my DTS though, so it was like a quick weekend, and like obviously in DTS you're so like your mind is just in a lot of different places, you know. And I think I went in December, and so it was like, I don't know, the middle of the whole process, and I like up and left for a weekend to go to Paris. So I think it was like not that I don't think it's that Paris is bad. It's just that all of the times that I've gone were like very interesting situations, you know. Then when I did my counseling school in Switzerland, we went to Paris for a day. Like we just drove there, but it was like a nice group of people, but also people I didn't really know very well. We just were doing a school together. We stayed in a random flat and just like walked. None of us.
I've never heard this story.
Yeah, we just like went, and it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
like nothing bad happened, or people aren't bad. It just like it wasn't great.
Yeah,
like it wasn't super fun. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, those memories. And also like Paris is a bit dirty. the people there don't really like you.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
like London's also dirty, so it's not to be like somebody could be like, oh, but you live in London. But I'm not here because I love London.
Yeah.
I'm here because God called me to be here.
You love London. Remember the beginning?
I love you, London.
That's why.
That's why.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, London.
You're calling her dirty.
Sorry. I'm sorry, London. Yeah, and then we went on the way back from Maureen's wedding a couple years ago. And we went with Dennis and a bunch of people went to Maureen's wedding, and we came on the way back. That doesn't really count to go to Paris because we were there for like 2 hours. Yeah. We just literally got out of the car, saw Estelle, got a crepe, ate a baguette, got back in the car, and came back to London.
Quintessential.
Yeah, it really was.
Going to Paris.
So probably I could go and
went to Maureen's wedding with
me,
us.
you, Dennis.
Maureen, for context, was one of the DTS students. She came to DTS here.
The DTS that you guys led, actually. Yeah, it was 2021.
Maddie led, and I was like there.
you helped though. You were learning the ropes, babes.
Yeah.
Don't cut yourself short.
Yeah. I just mean like I feel like I always get like roped into that crew, and I'm always like, yeah, but I also didn't really like plan that much. I feel like I was just in the meetings.
Was it supposed to be us three leading together?
You, Dennis,
and you
me.
Were leading together that whole school?
I think I was like shadowing or something.
Makes sense.
I think I was just kind of there.
Yeah. Anyway,
Maureen. That's why
Maureen. That's Maureen. It was me, you, Dennis, Kobe. I think Kobe went.
Yeah.
I think Flo went. I know that the car was full, so there was 2 other people that went.
Wasn't it like Nolani or
No,
something?
Kim
went. Gosh, I don't remember. And it's not because I don't love you that I don't remember. In case any of these people are listening going, I went to Maureen's wedding. I just have a bad memory. But yeah, it was a car full of people.
Yeah.
It was nice. But anyway, so I am not the biggest fan of Paris, but Marseille is beautiful. Really beautiful.
I saw your Instagram stories. I was like,
yeah,
take me there.
Well, first it's super sunny. It's a port city, and I love port cities. If you know me, I love Thessaloniki.
Because of the wine?
Haha, no. There was like graffiti everywhere. It's super artistic. The people are so friendly. Like it was really nice. And it's super multicultural. So it was just like a great time. We just really enjoyed. Nice. And yeah, at home was a really fun time. I went jet skiing with my dad, which was really special. I actually don't know how to jet ski, so
it's scary.
Yeah,
I've been on them one time, and it was terrifying.
Yeah, it's really scary.
They go really fast. Have you ever been on one?
Yeah, but only because I was in Thailand, not because of because I feel like this is like
happened to be in Thailand.
No, it wasn't very. No, it's just I feel like it's one of those things that you don't necessarily do a lot in the UK. I feel like,
well, for sure. You're gonna do it in Bournemouth. It's freezing.
No, but I feel like you could. It's just I feel like it's a lot more common in the States or even in Canada. I feel like it's really common.
We love water sports.
You guys have. That's really true. But I feel like that's just not really a thing here. So it's something that you do more when you go on holiday or when you go to a sort of destination, and then they've got the big banana boats and they've got the jet skis, you know?
Banana boats are my childhood.
See, I've never...
What's a banana boat? Oh, I grew up going to Mexico, and it's like a little sailboat, and they pull this inflatable banana. Yeah, it literally looks like a banana.
They pull it with a jet ski.
And they pull it with a jet ski or a boat. We would always have a boat pull us.
Oh, okay.
And it's it's like four. It literally
looks like a massive banana that can fit about 9 adults.
No, not 9. Good Lord.
Okay, the one that I went on fit about 9 adults. Okay,
it fits like a group of people, anywhere from 5 to 9 people apparently. But and then the boat pulls you and you jump in the water.
It's a massive inflatable, but it's a lot thicker than most inflatables because it kind of stays as a banana.
And you kind of straddle it you know, it's not like the ones that are like a couch and that pulls you. Don't laugh at me.
Because you were gonna laugh at you.
So anyway, yeah, it's true. Banana boats are great.
But with the jet ski, they generally tend to go really fast, whatever. And then at one point,
you hit the wave.
Yeah, you do hit the wave, whatever. And then at one point, they turn around and then they tip the banana boat over, so everybody just falls off.
Yeah, I didn't like that part.
I didn't like that part either.
That's we always, I don't know what you guys call it in the States, but we call it tubing.
Yeah, but we would do tubing with a tube.
Yes. Okay,
this is
but
banana boating.
It sounds like the same kind of vibe.
It's the same concept of the boat pulling an inflatable thing, and you go fast and you throw them off.
Yeah. Exactly.
You can use the tube or the couch or like something like that.
Yeah.
Couch.
Yeah, like it literally looks like a little
couch.
Yeah.
See, American sport.
It's like you're pulling a couch into the lake. Like, what? How does that even work?
But for context though, when I went to Thailand, it was for a YWAM conference.
Bring him back.
Sorry, it was for a YWAM conference, and Thailand is really cheap. So actually, to do this, like we went to like this little island on a day trip, and it was really cheap. And then to do the banana boat and the jet ski was like super cheap as well, which is why we did it. But like I've like every other time that I've tried to do it, when we tried to do it in Malta, so expensive.
No, it is expensive. Even when I went with my dad, you have to pay for the petrol, which is expensive, and you have to pay to go on the lake. Yeah. It was like £20 a jet ski. We had 2. So it's £40, which is not like so expensive, but then you talk about the petrol that you put in it. It gets pricey.
Yeah.
But it was the best time. We went to this lake that had like cliffs next to it because Arizona has a lot of canyons. And so it was so beautiful, but I was terrified to ride these jet skis. Did I tell you this story?
No, I don't.
You're going to love this story.
Okay.
I love that I didn't tell you. I was hoping I didn't tell you. So my dad pushes me out on this jet ski and he's like, you know what to do, right? And I was like, not really. Got no clue. Surely I press a button and I go, but like how to go slow. I was like, where's the brake? Yeah. They don't have brakes, in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
They don't have brakes. So he like pushes me out and he's like, I'm just going to run to the bathroom.
What did you do?
And then I'll get my own jet ski down. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I start turning it on and he was like, okay, but you can't go fast in this area because it's a no wake zone. So I was like, okay, but how do I not go fast? You know, I'm not pressing the gas and I'm already going 3 miles per hour. But on water, for people to know, on water, 3 miles per hour seems really fast. Like it's not just like it feels faster. You can't control it. Anyway, there was a dock. There were some girls standing on the end of the dock, and I'm like riding, and I ran into the dock, and these girls like helped me, and they pushed me away. And my dad was like,
you drove straight into it.
I drove into the dock, not going fast. Going like 4 miles per hour, but I drove into the dock. My dad was like, Maddie, why didn't you turn?
Were you like
oh shoot, oh gosh, oh I'm sorry, oh shoot, help me, okay. And my dad's just like from this coast, like, Maddie, what do you gotta turn it, turn it, hey, turn literally. So then I turn it off because I'm like, screw this, like I'm not just gonna like putter around out here. I'm just gonna turn it off. When he comes, he can show me what to do.
But you start floating away.
Well, you float away and you also spin. And so these girls are on the dock and they're like, so what are you guys doing out here? And I was like, yeah, I'm talking to my dad and like, we're just hanging out and I'm visiting from out of town. If you can't see me, I'm spinning in circles, like really awkwardly. And they're like, oh, cool. Where are you visiting from? And I'm like, yeah, I'm from London, like going in circles, right? With my stupid jet ski that is off. And I'm floating away from them. And so they're like, oh, cool. And I'm like, so what do you guys do? Yeah, we're in university. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. And anyway, I start telling them about YWAM, about everything. Because
like
they were
shouting
shouting and spinning. Half the time with my back to them and like looking over my shoulder. Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was so embarrassing. So my dad gets there and he teaches me how to do it. It was great. And then he takes off like 60 miles per hour, like zoom, zoom. The jet ski's like,
like once you leave the wake zone, obviously.
Yes,
okay.
Obviously. And I'm going behind him 15, crying. I literally was crying. I literally said, Lord, please don't let me die on this lake. Please. I was weeping. I forgot because I'm really phlegmatic. Like I'm actually really chill in some of my nature.
Yeah.
To the point that, especially when I'm home with my family, I just go with the flow of whatever they're doing. Like, I don't want to plan things. I don't need to, like, go in circles.
Yeah, and you also don't want to, like, impose. You're like, okay, whatever you want to do. Like, it's great.
Yeah, it was just like, whatever. So, because of that, I forgot that I am deeply afraid of lakes and specifically of machines in lakes.
But tell us why, Madison.
Well, because once I fell off a boat next to the propeller when I was little. And so I just have this massive fear of lakes in particular. Oceans are okay because I don't know why.
How does that work?
I don't know. But I was terrified. And so I'm on this jet ski going 15.
If you were on like a jet ski in the ocean, you'd be fine.
Not fine because I don't like machines in water. I don't like the wave pool at like the water. I'll go in them, but when you go close to the gate and you see all the machines.
Okay, that's valid. That's
really
valid.
scary.
I understand that. It is a little bit like.
She doesn't like machines on ground either.
Okay. I don't like factories. I don't like big machines. They're scary.
Where's this coming from?
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. But like anytime like the train goes past, like, you know, the whole factory area by Western Junction, she's like, I don't like that. I don't like that.
I don't like it. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
Factories.
Anyway, like big machines, big machinery.
Actually, I think this is a thing, isn't it? Isn't that a phobia?
Maybe. I don't know that I have like a phobia. I wouldn't say it's a phobia.
It's a Maddie phobia.
It's just like, I just don't like it. I just choose not to spend my time there. So anyway, I'm crying on this jet ski.
But it's not a phobia. You're crying, but it's not a phobia.
Shut up. I was like, Lord, please don't let me die here. Please, I don't want to die here. Please. And my dad like circles back and he's like, surely, Maddie, you can go faster than that. And I was like, I literally cannot. Like, I cannot. And you know, it was actually a very sweet moment between me and the Lord where I said, God, like, I'm desperately afraid right now. Like, I actually feel like I could die out here and sink to the bottom of this lake. Like, I'm going to flip the jet ski and whatever. And my dad says, Maddie, you're not going to flip it. Like, jet skis are not really flippable. Like, they're buoyant. That's the nature of them, blah, blah, blah. He was like, the only thing that you could do is that you'll throw yourself off. Yeah. And then you just swim and get back on the jet ski. It's fine. And I was like, until the big fish at the bottom of this lake eats me. But anyways, so my dad goes off and I was like, okay, God, you know what? This is my moment to really trust my dad. Like, my dad says I'm not going to fall. My dad says I'm not going to flip it. So I'm just going to go. He's not going to take me too fast. He's not going to be reckless with me. So I'm just going to trust him. And I was like, and I floored it and I had the best time. Yeah. It was like fear went behind with like the water. It was great. And I had the best time. I never really fell off. Yeah. Never like, and at one point I just was like cruising and like going on the waves, you know, and I'm looking at my dad in the wind and I was like, this is such a special moment. Yeah, so all of that story to say was a huge breakthrough. No longer have a phobia of machines and waters and had a great time with my dad.
We'll see about the future, but that was such a wholesome moment. She messaged me immediately after and was like, I just had the best time.
I messaged everyone. I literally was so pumped. Yeah. It's like, this was the best day of my whole life.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah.
But it's so cute.
Yeah. I saw the pictures of it. It's cute.
So yeah, that's how my time's been. My last month or so.
You went to Marseille and that was it. That was the last place you went. Yeah. She's been a world traveler.
God. Yeah.
World traveler, yeah. It's true. Yeah. It's true. But it's been fun. Because I didn't really go anywhere for the last year or so.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, I've just been pretty grounded, so it was nice to get a change of scenery. Your change of scenery.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Speaking of my change of scenery.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I really enjoyed this last week. And I feel like, to be honest, God was speaking to me so much while I was there. And I think partly in a way, not because of the change of scenery, but you know when like you just get so into your routine of life that like also like your quiet time, you do it, but it's like, well, you know, let's be real.
Yeah.
And
this is unfiltered.
This is unfiltered. I'm lounging. Like, this is lounging, Abby.
I'm lounging too.
Addie has her hand on the table. Anyway, no, but I feel like God really spoke to me a lot this week. And honestly, about so many things. Like, I feel like I have a lot that I could share or process. But honestly, especially about like leadership, because this is a leadership school that we're like running. And it's funny, like leading leaders. It's like, how do you even do that? I don't know. But it's honestly, it was a really good week. And also seeing like them grow, seeing, I don't know, like God move in other people's lives. Sometimes I feel like I'm always so desperate for like God to move in my life, but then I don't really pray for other people for God to move in their life. I don't know, like maybe I do like every once in a while, like an intercession, you know, but it's not like I'm like
an intercession.
But I don't know, maybe you guys spend more time doing that, but I don't know if I really like pray for like breakthrough in people's lives. But like being part of this school and like this program, I feel like I've really like also found myself like finding so much joy in other people's breakthroughs, you know, which is really nice. It's like it kind of takes the like not the pressure off me, but it's kind of like, wow, it's not everything is about me all the time, you know. Sometimes things are about other people, and I can like focus on that too, you know. I think I get like so like consumed by my own process, or consumed by like my struggle or what I'm processing or whatever, you know. And but really when you take like a step back, actually God is doing so much, you know. Anyway, so I thought we could like have short time to kind of like, I don't know, maybe share anything that God's speaking to you, or I don't know, even that you want to encourage people about. Like, I feel like for this podcast, like we really want to make the space and make the most of what we have in this opportunity to like also encourage people, you know? So I don't know, maybe what God's been speaking to you, even if it's just this week or like something, it doesn't need to be like groundbreaking. But I don't know, something. If you guys, I don't know if you guys have anything, or if you want me to keep going for you to think.
Hello. I can go if you want, Julie.
Go for it.
Well, kind of building off, I think, what you were sharing of like having this time to see other people's breakthroughs and how encouraging that is to like take your eyes off yourself. Yeah. The last like month hasn't necessarily been seeing breakthrough for me. Well, in some people and in some areas, yes. Yeah. Like, for example, like one of the girls that I've been walking with from the club got baptized, you know, and that's amazing. And another girl wants to get baptized. So I'm seeing breakthrough and that's really encouraging in some areas. But in other areas of kind of ministry and life, I actually see the opposite of breakthrough. Right now, it's like a lot of like striking, you know, like some battles that I don't really want to go in the detail of, but there's just been like, it's just been kind of a time of greater battles. I think greater battles than I've faced in my life in some ways. Like I've faced trauma or difficulty or whatever, but this felt a little bit different in that it's like feels so much bigger than me. And while that's been really difficult, there's also been something really like, I don't know, maybe this is like selfish to think this, but it feels in some ways really relieving of like, wow, sometimes I get so particular on myself or picky about how I'm walking or my own process or what I'm not seeing or what I am seeing or what I'm struggling with or whatever, that like it becomes so consuming of like, like I'm battling this thing in my life and I'm just, you know, and to see like there's a greater battle going on was like, wow, actually I just, like that just doesn't matter. Like really in the grand scheme, like it does matter because God cares about all things, but at the same time, like what if I just lifted my vision? And I think it's in Psalm 39 or something like that. I remember this psalm being like a specific strategy for me when I was really battling to overcome frustration, because it's a whole psalm where like David is frustrated and then gets to the end and he's like, this isn't eternal, like whatever frustration I'm having, like in the grand scheme of life doesn't matter. And I feel like I'm sort of in that right now where like I'm facing bigger battles, but I feel so much trust in God of what he's doing. And I'm like, well, at the end of the day, you're still my God and I still belong to your kingdom and to your family. And so actually nothing else matters. But because I'm fixated here, like these little stupid, but like dust bubbles, like just don't matter, you know? And it's been like, that's been really refreshing, I think. Not because I'm not fighting things or I'm not like continuing my own personal process, but it's like,
puts things into perspective.
And like I can battle here and God is working in things in me anyway. And actually like something we talk about a lot is how like what you behold is what you become. So if I look at God, I'm going to change, you know, but and like change to be like him because he's what I'm looking at. But in case I'm just all the time looking at my enemies and my problems, of course they never go away because I'm just like picking at them all the time. And so now because I'm facing something bigger and I'm really looking at God in the bigger thing, it's like these things are kind of naturally going away. I don't know if that makes sense. Not massive personal things, but just things that usually like make my perfectionism like go nuts, you know?
Yeah, I think also something that like, I don't know, God was kind of speaking to me while this last week was that like, how God moves even when we don't see it. You know, like, and we always sing the Waymaker, especially, even when I don't see it, you're working, you know? And we sing that.
Why are you not singing in the worship team, Abby? That was beautiful.
I led worship. And nights we were there.
Did ya?
Did.
Wait.
You never stop.
And we did sing that song, actually. And I think that's why God was speaking to me. He was like, yo, you want to sing this? Okay, let's actually do it. But yeah, like how like God works. I think this is also kind of what I mean about like seeing God work in other people's lives, because it's like, wow, if God is working in them even when they don't see it, you know, because like probably they're like very unaware, but in the same way, like maybe God is working in me and I don't need to like push myself so hard, you know? I think sometimes I have this like perspective of like, oh my gosh, like you got to work on this and X, Y, and Z. And if you're not doing this, then, you know, and again, kind of like what we were talking about in the Cain and Abel episode. Hopefully we'll post that before this one. Well, spoilers. We're going to be talking about Cain and Abel. I always do this. I do this every time. Dang it.
She's too transparent.
Yeah.
This is too unfiltered.
Yeah. and it's gone now because I made that thing. What was I saying? In other people's lives, and even when you don't see it, you're working.
We were talking about it in the episode. That episode that it's going to come after.
Never stop working. Never stop.
I think you were heading on to like what you choose to focus on.
Yeah. That's it.
Thanks, Jules.
Thanks, Julie. No. It's true though. Like how I don't know. I get so wrapped up in my own like circumstances. Yeah. You know, when actually like God is like good all the time. You know, we like it's like things that we say. I don't know. I feel like God in some ways
all the
like
time
really bringing me back God to like basics. You know, like
we discount the basics, but they're fundamental.
But they're so important.
They're actually the only thing that matters.
Literally. Yeah. We were talking so much on like this outreach about how like our expectations maybe of God or of like the things we do, evangelism, like I don't know, like our works like always seem to like have so much like value in our lives, you know. It's like if I don't talk to like 10 people today about Jesus, then I'm not doing good and God's upset with me. You know, it's like actually like God loves you whether you talk to 10 people about him or you talk to one person about him, and like it doesn't make a difference like about his love for you. You know? And I think we were like God was really trying for the team, but also like for me, to be honest, to kind of like
come out,
like change your perspective, you know. It not just being always about you and what you can do and like your abilities and your strength, but like God is God, like kind of like what you were saying, you know, like these little things is like so God will move, like why are we so stressed, you know? So I can relate.
Makes sense
in some ways. But I don't know about you, Jules. You got anything?
Shoot. Okay. I don't know. For me, I was saying Argentina was really, really good. It was an amazing time, and I think sometimes when we're like in that high, sometimes we experience really low lows immediately after, or like just following it after, and like that joy just kind of like just gets taken away, or like it's not that it gets taken away because actually like joy is a choice, right? And joy is like something that I choose to, like, I don't know where I was reading, but like joy is an outward rebellion, you know. And it's true because like I may be feeling in a certain way and actually but I'm choosing joy, right? So but so it's not that it was taken away, but for sure like it's not something that I chose to like focus on, you know. And I think for me, like I really felt like I was like here and I suddenly went like you know, and I just like dropped down in many ways. And because of very little things, or very like things that perhaps were very insignificant, or things that perhaps I put a way greater focus on than what I should have, instead of like choosing to like hold on to not just what I had lived, but also the promises that God was already working in and stuff. So for me, that the month of March was like really difficult, like, and not gonna lie, like in many ways, like it's I feel like I'm still in March. Just struggling with a lot of things of like choosing that joy, you know. And I think what's been harder as well is just, I think like you always are your worst enemy, but you're also your like worst critic, right? Like I am so harsh on myself and I have such high expectations in myself, you know. And so I feel like in many ways as well, like, and I was talking about this because I had to give the capsule in the community meeting 2 weeks ago, and I was talking about that slightly, just because I feel like many times, like in the same way that you were just saying, you know, like God is like, so like this is so much, this is actually real, and that thing is so minute, so minuscule compared to this, but I choose to focus on that, you know. And I think most of the times it's more that like I struggle to forgive myself, and I struggle to like accept that grace from God when it's like, yeah, but like that would have been okay if I wasn't where I am today. That would have been okay if it wasn't for the fact that I knew better, not for the first or the second or the third time, but like, because I've been walking this out for much longer. So I think in many ways, not only do I like not choose joy, but I also reject grace, you know, and not embrace God's grace, because it's not that I think that I'm better, but in fact, like I'm the one who determines like when I can receive that grace, you know, and how I can receive that grace from God. So it's been a little bit difficult, but kind of similar to Maddie, like as well. There's been so many other things as well that have taken my time when it comes to like work and like things around the base and stuff, that in one way, although they have been bigger, they've definitely pulled me away from that perspective. And it's been helpful, kind of like what you were saying as well, to like say like, oh, okay, I was drowning in this glass of water, but actually this is so much bigger compared to this, you know. I'm still not like completely ignorant to that, because obviously that has also affected me. However, like, it's also taken my attention to actually like really have a perspective and put things in place to where like, okay, that was really consuming me because of how I was so focused on it, and being removed from it a little bit more has allowed me to also like see a different perspective. So that's definitely been like a bit more eye-opening, but at the same time it's also been hard, you know. I think not harder, but like hard in a different sense, you know. Like I think more than ever, like being an auntie has been so great, but more than ever, like I just focus on the fact that like, wow, we're so privileged when we are babies, and when we are so like unaware of what is around us, and when we don't have responsibility, and when we don't have to see different things, because it is so painful, you know, the things that sometimes you have to bear, and the things that you have to see other people, especially in this season, the things that I've had to see other people bear and go through. Like, I'm like, that's so uncalled for, but also that's just not right. It's like, simply put, it's just not right, you know. And you're like, it shouldn't be like this. Let's go back to simpler times, you know. I've said it quite a few times. I'm like, I really want to go back to Argentina, but not because there's anything better in Argentina, because problems you're going to find everywhere, but it's just because that moment, that time was a little bit simpler, you know. There was something that was a bit more joyous of the occasion, you know. So there's definitely a part of me that's like shouting for a holiday. So watch out. But yeah, I think having that constant reminder, kind of like what you were saying as well, that like that God is bigger, that it is greater, that like what I choose to focus on is going to harvest something within me, and I can choose to focus on that, but it will bear its consequences later on. So yeah, maybe in the moment for like my flesh, it feels good to like ponder in that, or to like wallow, or to weep, or whatever. And yeah, there is a time for everything, but there's also going to be definitely consequences to that, you know. So I think it's also, to be honest, like I feel like it's been kind of a vulnerable season for me in many ways, because I feel like I'm at a point where I'm questioning so many things that before I think I wasn't questioning. Other people perhaps were questioning for me, you know, like especially when it comes to my age and my life situation or lack of situation, if you like.
Singleness.
Exactly. And thriving. But yeah, like, and I think in that as well, there's like a really big urge to like run away, you know, and like an urge to just like avoid that altogether, you know, but like trying to also like find that, okay, I need to stop, and what does God think of this? So I'm really also really thankful to like for people who have like, whether it's been here or like across the sea, have been like supporting me, like, or like sending me messages, or have been there in like key moments. Like it's just been really, yeah. And obviously God for sure, but yeah, it's been a month, kind of how it has started, you know. It's been a month.
It's
been a month. Yeah.
This isn't a couch. It's a couch.
It's a couch. Exactly.
It's a sandwich.
You get my point.
Yeah, for sure. But
I don't know. I hear that it's been hard, and I don't mean to like silver lining it, but just thinking of something you said like sparked in me, which is like you want to go back to Argentina, you know? Like there's moments that you're like, oh, just take me back, you know? And I don't know, I was just thinking like how sweet was God to give you that time in Argentina. That could be so sweet, that could sustain you through the season. You know what I mean? And was sort of thinking of you, Abs, like coming out of a really hard season and now experiencing a lot more joy or breakthrough or simplicity or ease, like the things that for you are in Argentina, not really, but in that season. And it's like how sweet God is that he gives us these seasons or these times that feel lighter or feel like simpler or have just more joy or more sunshine to sustain us in the darker moments, you know? And I feel the same, like looking at everything I came from the last months, as the podcasters know, I was really afraid for March this year. Like I was afraid for January through March because last year it was so difficult for me. And this year's been difficult, but I feel really like thankful that I feel like God gave me little like bursts of, obviously we have hope and we have life and we have joy in him all the time, but he gives us like these little gifts practically on earth, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And even though Argentina was difficult, like it's a little piece for you to hold on to when you're feeling hopeless, you know? And how much more difficult this season could be right now if you wouldn't have that, you know?
Yeah, that's
not
true.
Because Argentina is your savior, but because it's like a little gift from God for you, you know?
No, it really was,
So I don't know, I think like whoever's listening or even for us, like seasons come and go. Like you will be out of this at some point, you know? And in another moment, I don't know, maybe I'll be in a dark place or maybe I'll be in a bright place or I'll be in a like a medium place, you know, like a stagnant place. I don't know, like seasons come and go, but God also gives us what we need either before or after the season to either encourage us. Like I remember having similar conversations with you where I was like, Abby, you're going to make it through this. And one day you're going to see the light. And so hearing you talk about breakthrough, you're praying for other people. And I'm looking at an answered prayer of a breakthrough I prayed for you, you know? Ooh.
Yeah.
And that's so cool, you know, like, so I will say the same to you that I've said to her and that probably you guys have said to me in other moments too. Like whatever you're facing right now, it will pass. It will get easier. Like the cloud will move. Like you'll get married. Like one day you'll have kids and we'll watch back on this episode and be like, you know, like, I don't know. I don't mean to prophesy that, but I just mean that like at some point this will move and the heaviness of this or the pain of this will move and you'll see breakthrough, you know? I don't know when, but at some point. I say that to myself too, you know. And I'm thankful for God's seasons, you know, that we look forward to or that we look behind at of like, oh, this sucks. That was nice, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Also his faithfulness in it, you know, like in whatever moment you're in, you know, whether it's cloudy or it's sunny or you're feeling great or you're not feeling great. Like, I don't know. I don't know. This week was really good for me, I think. And I really saw how, like, I don't know, God's faithfulness is really, like, it's through everything, you know, and in everything. So, yeah, I guess just to, like Maddie said, encourage anyone who's listening. If you're, maybe you're in a season where you're like, dang, this is rough and I don't know how I'm going to get through it. Like, God is faithful to you in that. Like, even if you feel like you don't deserve it or you feel like all your works are coming to nothing or I don't know, like you're not seeing what you expect to see, like God is still there and he's still good and he still loves you whether you do amazing or you're not doing amazing. You know?
I think of that Bible story, of where I think it's like about Sodom and Gomorrah or something like that. It's definitely Old Testament. And one of the prophets is talking to God. Could be Moses. Could be somebody. I don't remember. Sorry, Bible scholars of the room. I don't remember. But you know when it's like God says, oh, I'm going to wipe out this whole town. And the person says like, oh, but what if there's 100 people who believe in you? And he said, then I won't. He said, oh, but what if there's 50? What if there's 20? What if there's only one? And God said, even if there was one person, I wouldn't wipe it out. But there wasn't even one, you know? That is so random compared to what we're talking about. But I just was thinking about how God's faithfulness meets us wherever our faithfulness is. And sometimes we feel like our faithfulness isn't enough, you know, like in seasons that it's hard to choose or it's hard to like I don't know, walk in the way that we want to. It's hard to choose joy. It's hard to choose truth because feelings are everywhere or situations are everywhere, whatever. Like, and we would say, oh, I haven't really been faithful to God. You know, I haven't been faithful in my quiet time. I haven't been faithful in my prayer life. Like I haven't been faithful. But if God was faithful to meet 100 people in that city or 50 or 20 or 1, I love how his faithfulness like always comes down to meet us. Like that's the picture I have, you know, like no matter how little, because also it says in Romans, like, he's faithful even when we're faithless, you know? And so I don't know.
Because he first loved us. Like, it all comes from him.
Yeah. And he meets us wherever we're at in it. Like, I don't know. I just think that that's really special. So I don't know, for people who are like fighting with their last effort, like God is going to meet you in that small faithfulness that you have, in that little seed that you have, or the last amount of energy that you have. God's going to meet you there. Or in the joys and the hopes and the like hype of Bournemouth, you know, God also is meeting you there. So that's encouraging.
Very.
Yep.
True.
I think on that note, guys.
What an episode.
It's a good one.
The girls.
With the ladies.
Back.
The girls.
Hey, sisters.
As Drew would say from Despicable Me.
The girls.
You've been hanging out with too many little kids.
Yeah.
Girls.
I also really like this movie. Oh my God, without kids.
We watch it when we go home.
Watch
some Despicable Me.
Honestly,
So wholesome.
I haven't watched any movies since I've been gone.
Whoa.
Since you've been gone, yay!
I can't breathe. Sorry, what did you watch? Without me?
We watched a good movie last night.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Maddie
It's from 1997. It's with Morgan Freeman. No. It's a thriller, so I'm not sure our audience would like it. No. But it was a good one. I was anxious the whole time.
What's it called?
It's called Kiss the Girls.
That's why I was trying not to name it.
I didn't help you there. I like the call.
It's like about murderers and serial killers and stuff. But it was great. Highly recommend.
Yeah. Don't be led by the name, because definitely.
Scary.
No, I mean, like,
it's just not
I think
like
it's
sexual
just
by saying kiss the girls.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I mean, obviously it's 1997, so like definitely a lot cleaner than what things are now.
1997.
Well, you know, like things now are just like, I feel like we're so, our filter's definitely a lot more.
Yeah, that's true.
But like, it's just like, it leaves you on the edge of your seat. So it's not a thriller that is thrilling by like the nature of horror, but it's more thrilling because of the psychological aspect and the suspense.
Poor Julie had a mask on and couldn't move the whole time. So she'd be like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Like laying on the couch.
It's true.
Any part of her face.
you know those Korean masks that get harder and they get translucent. They start off white and then suddenly your face like goes through. So that was it. And so the entire time, like, it was so hard here. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I really want to react, but I can't.
No, I really want to watch.
Don't go in there. Don't go in there. Like no movement. Be like, what'd you say, Julie? I thought. It's hilarious.
I really wanted to watch Casper, but Maddie doesn't want to.
I don't like that movie, but you all can watch it.
Why didn't you like that movie?
I'll go do something else.
I feel like we need why? Why didn't you like that movie?
Why are you scared of legs and machines? Why?
Stop judging me, ladies.
Just saying.
I don't know. I just never really liked it.
I had never seen it until like a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Interesting.
A little ghost.
Maybe it's because I watched it as a kid and I didn't like spooky stuff as a kid. And so for me, it was like a bit spooky. It made me uncomfortable. It felt dirty. I don't know. Didn't like it.
For me, it just falls under like the same range of movies like Jumanji, you know, like, and
I didn't grow up with that.
And you don't like that.
I like Jumanji. Oh, I just didn't watch Jumanji until like 2 years ago.
Yeah. So bad.
Do you guys see what I have to deal with all the time? Thing one and thing two over here.
You love us.
Yeah, you do.
Well, sometimes. Anyway, bye.
And on that
Just kidding.
We will see you next time.
Bye, sisters.